If you are going through or looking for a spiritual awakening, what is the best lifestyle to support that? When it comes to spiritual awakening, there are many things you can do to help support that. For instance, the food you eat, or even the body exercises you do, the daily routine you have, waking up early and sleeping less, all these things can help. But there's some other things you can do and you actually need to do to support your spiritual awakening, which are on a different level, more on the level of how you live your life in every moment of your day, according to what principles you are living it. If you really practice these principles, we'll give you 5 of these principles in this video. It will definitely help to support your spiritual awakening. It can even be a cause for your spiritual awakening, and it will bring a lot of other good in your life too.
We have learned those 5 principles from our guru, Paramahamsa Nithyananda. The 5 principles are: 1. Completion. 2. Integrity. 3. Authenticity. 4. Responsibility. And 5. Enriching.
And actually the last 4 are like a set, they go together. They're the 4 principles for successful living coming from the Vedic tradition. And the other one, completion, it's a little bit separate. It's actually all the other 4 support completion, and completion happens because of all the other 4. So you could say completion is kind of like a basis. If you practice completion, it can be a basis for all your spiritual practices in life.
Yeah, it's like the integral mechanism. The thing that should basically run your whole thought process should be completion, completion, completion. And through integrity, authenticity, responsibility, and enriching, completion will be more and more. And through more completion, you will experience more of the 4 principles. Like they're intertwined.
Right. And for many of these principles, like completion, integrity, authenticity, we have made separate videos, and definitely in the description box below, we'll give you the links to those videos where we discuss the different principles more elaborately. But we wanted to give you this overview of these 5 principles because we think having these 5 in your life will do a lot of good for you. And if you are in a process of spiritual awakening, or you are looking for a process of spiritual awakening, these are really like the pillars with which you can build your life.
Either you're going through spiritual awakening right now and you're looking for a lifestyle to support that, or you're trying to set up a lifestyle so that you can experience spiritual awakening. Either way is fine, but the both should be aligned. Because you can imagine if your lifestyle is not aligned to the spiritual truth, then it can be very hard. If you experience like a sudden or spontaneous awakening, it's hard to integrate that in your life, because your life is like, it's like spiritual awakening is like a river flowing. If the river is flowing and you're trying to fight against the river, swim upstream, all that kind of thing, then it's going to be rough, it's going to be difficult, there's going to be a lot of friction, things are not going to be very nice.
Right. People tell us sometimes, even in this channel, people leave comments sometimes about the spiritual awakening they are experiencing, or Kundalini awakening. And they tell how it's been a rough process, it's been like something which happened in their life, they didn't know what happened. And rather than being a smooth and pleasant process, they describe it as being something being difficult and harsh in their lives. And practicing these 5 principles is exactly the basis you need for spiritual awakening to be a smooth and beautiful process in your life. So the first principle, completion, is all about being in a space of powerfulness, not allowing powerlessness to happen in your life. To be in a space of completion, you'll need to remove the old strings of hurt from the past, so that present day situations don't trigger you into powerlessness. There's a technique for this specific, to come into the space of completion, there's a technique of completion. And what it does for you, it clears the inner space of old cognition, of old hurt, makes you very aware and alive in the present moment.
And the following 4 powers, as Swamiji calls them, they will help you to be more and more established in space of completion. And they will also help you to find out where there's still incompletion in your life. Integrity has to do with being aware of your thoughts and words and fulfilling them to the letter. So when you promise something to yourself, or you promise something to somebody else, you make sure that that becomes into a reality. That you never leave something unfulfilled. Basically, unfulfillment will cause incompletion in you or others. So that's how integrity relates to completion.
And if you practice integrity, what it will do in your life is your intention will become very strong, and you'll have a very focused and directed energy. You can imagine that if you say something and you do something else, even if you tell your mom you'll call her today and you don't, even if you've been thinking about calling her but you don't, then your energy is dissipated into different directions. It's not focused, it's not going all in the same direction. If you manage to fulfill the words and the thoughts you give to yourself, you will build an inner space with a very strong intention. It actually makes it very possible for you to create what you want to create in life. So it's a very powerful, integrity is really, if you start practicing that, as a being, it makes you very powerful.
Yeah. Because when you don't, for example, when you don't call your mom, the end of the day or the next day, you'll remember, you feel like, oh, I should have called my mom. You start to feel guilty, you start to feel unsure about yourself, you start to feel powerlessness, which is exactly what we don't want, because powerlessness is incompletion, basically.
So the second of the 4 powers is called authenticity. And the interesting thing about authenticity is, at least for me, and I think for many people in the West, is that we have started to relate authenticity to showing the world how small you really are, or how vulnerable you really are. Like we say that someone is really being authentic if they're showing their maybe their strengths but also their weaknesses. What we mean with authenticity in this context is something very different, and that's to do with living up to your peak potential. We as human beings are actually not as small as we think, and our potential is very high. If you focus, if you have an idea about yourself, what your peak potential is, and if you choose to live up to that potential, that is living authenticity.
So when you practice authenticity in your life, you lose the small idea we carry about ourselves. So you grow more and more into the divine space, and your divine self.
The 4th principle is that of responsibility. And basically when we talk about responsibility, we have this insight that everything that we experience in the world, everything we experience in life, whether it's other people, whether it's our physical health or our finances, anything we experience in life, that it is a reflection of the inner space we carry. And this is a very vast and profound spiritual truth. You might need to see a little bit more videos about it, read some more about it to understand what it actually means. It's a very beautiful truth. But the basis of it is that it is your inner space which attracts the things in life which you are experiencing. And because everything you witness comes from your inner space or is a reflection of that, you don't need to change the outer world to change your reality, but you change your inner space so that you attract what you want in life.
So it means that when you truly start living this principle, responsibility, it means that you'll experience that you are the source of everything. There's no more blaming others or situations in life. You know everything is coming from me, everything is coming from inside. So there's no blaming, there's no pushing away responsibility. Everything is my responsibility. And that makes me intensely powerful because I know I am in control, I'm the source.
So responsibility, just like the 4th principle of enriching, these two really, in a very practical way, make you experience a space of oneness. And this is a space, exactly like you're saying, where that separateness or that secluded identity which we carry, which it starts dropping away, and you start experiencing yourself as a source. So that's a very, very beautiful space to be in. And all these 4 tattvas will bring you there, but especially this 3rd one of responsibility and the 4th one of enriching, build that awareness in you in a very practical way.
When you start to pay less attention to me, to yourself, your own needs, but you're more focused, more part of your life is going towards others and towards what they want and making that into reality, then automatically you'll see that there's not much difference between me and others. So what I want and what others want. So practicing more and more enriching the life of others will get you into a space of oneness with others. And that's basically what spirituality is about, like experience oneness with everything, with me, you, the world around me.
So the 4th principle, as we were saying, is enriching. Enriching is basically doing everything you can all the time to support others in their in their growth, in their spiritual growth, and to support them as a human being, to be in their peak potential. So these 5 principles of completion, and then the 4 tattvas: integrity, authenticity, responsibility, and enriching. These are really 5 like major keys which you can use in life and any situation you face, anything which you come across. You can actually sit and think, how do I apply these 5 principles to be in the situation in the best way? And the more you start doing that, you will just you will build these spiritual muscles, and you'll get a very strong mental setup. You'll carry the right mental setup for your spiritual awakening.
And if you want to go more in depth about those 4 principles and completion, we'll give you a link below in the description to one of Swamiji's books, where he explains it more elaborately, and so you can read up about it and start imbibing those principles and also practicing them in your daily life, because that's what it's all about. It's not some knowledge that you just take in your head, but it's something that should become part of you, part of the way you think, part of the way you behave with yourself, with others, just part of your life. Then you will see huge shift in your life. If you are experiencing a spiritual awakening, or if you want to experience spiritual awakening, start practicing those principles. Start studying them, start living them, and you'll see that life becomes much more beautiful, more smooth, and awakening becomes more easy and gradual. I hope this video was useful for you and will help you to create a lifestyle for yourself that will support your spiritual awakening. We thank you for all your support, for liking the video, for subscribing to our channel. We really enjoy when you leave a comment below. We try to read all the comments and answer your questions or learn from your experiences also. I think that's it for now, and we'll see you in the next video.
See you in the next video. Be blissful.
Be blissful.